Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well. Happy Thursday. I believe it's Thursday. Sorry if I'm wrong. Let me know if you can all hear me okay, because we had such a crap show, my last live. And when I went back on the replay, I had no idea that you guys could not hear me. I think it ended up being like over 6 minutes. I had no idea it was that long. And that whole time I was talking about Lily and Jack because it was the 10th month, March 2nd, that they had been missing 10 months. And so for that 6 minutes, I was talking about Lily and Jack. And I didn't realize that nobody heard that until I went back and listened. Um, so so it ended up looking like I didn't talk about Lily and Jack at all, pretty much in that live. And I apologize for that. And I had also explained that what had happened was when I went to go live, all of a sudden I lost camera and mic. Yeah, mic. And so I had text in the chat, um, having some technical difficulties. I'll be right there. And I had to reboot and everything. And I had thought everything was set back up and you guys could hear me, and apparently it wasn't. So, so sorry for that. I talked about Lily's birthday coming up. Yeah, so that was disappointing to go back and look and realize, oh my gosh, they didn't hear any of that. So my apologies on that. So I'm glad to know you guys can hear me today. uh, there we go. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining the live. Um, let's go up to the top, see who's all here. Little Black Bear, thank you for being here. Cheryl, Daphne, thank you. Daphne, yeah, keep going down. Betty, thank you, Betty. Betty Knight. Shenanigans, thank you. Joyous, hi. Just the facts, ma'am. Hello. Uh, yeah. And there could be others watching. I can't tell. You can't tell when there's a members live. And I tried to gift some memberships out, and I don't know why, but it wouldn't let me. I don't know what's going on with YouTube or StreamYard half the time giving us trouble, but whatever. Um, so I hope everyone's doing well. Uh, how's everybody doing? It is freezing here today. Yesterday wasn't too bad out. Um, my husband and I went out yesterday, and it actually wasn't too bad out. And then we went down to, um, I call it TRA, but it's like Sobeys. Um, yeah, to grab some chicken wings, and it is freezing out today. It's freezing. Not nice out at all. Um, and it's going down to minus 20 overnight or colder. So, yeah. Uh, yeah. So sorry, Joyous says she's doing great. Was out doing yard work. I wish we could do yard work around here right now. Hopefully in April. Last year was terrible because we did not have a nice April at all. And like it was terrible. You couldn't go fishing, you couldn't go out and do yard work. It was just windy, terrible, cold, rainstorms. It was horrible. Uh, yeah. In fact, and not that it was a nice day out that day, the day that Lily and Jack went missing. Well, the May 2nd. Um, Not that it was a gorgeous day by any means on May 2nd of 2025, but it was nicer than the previous days up to that point. And so that day it was kind of half as nice. And then the next day, the following day on Saturday was beautiful. Yeah, I believe it reached 20 that day. And then we went back into the cold, rainy weather. Um, and Little Black Bear says, raining cats and dogs. Not here. A lot of meows and roofs. Just the facts, ma'am. Oh my lord, so cold. Yeah, my hands and face are aching in minutes. Hate the cold now. Yeah. Uh, now that I'm old, yeah. It's as you get older, that's why people go down south. A lot of people from Pictou County, older people. Well, they used to. I don't know nowadays with the money issues and job issues here. But and when you have issues with pain, the cold is terrible because the last thing you want when you have issues with pain, and for me, it's the back pain and hip and leg pain. You don't want to ever be tensed up because it just throws you back into that cycle. And yeah, not good, not good. Um, well, thank you all for being here. Like I said, I sent out, I had 10 memberships. Now, the other day I sent out 5, and today I wanted to send out 5 more, but they're not even showing. So, but I know I have them. So I was hoping that some of the people who uh, join the show often that don't have memberships would get them, but anyways, I tried. Uh, yeah. So, so what's the first thing you guys want to do? Do you want to um listen to I said that I would save I'm going to do something I've never done before. And it's listen to a couple of those tapes of Janie's. Um, and only because, first of all, it's a reminder of what Lily and Jack were living with. And second of all, it's a reminder of the mentality of what Lily and Jack were living with. And it's so concerning that I think it's worth a discussion of just how concerning it is. Like, like to me, honestly, oh, the Lansdowne clan, I don't know what else to call them. I find them to be very scary. Like fear, like literally, like when I listen to their type of thinking and the mentality, it just strikes a feeling of fear with me, in me. Um, can you give memberships on a membership only? Joyous, I never thought of that. Maybe that's the issue. I thought I did before, though. But that might be what it is. I never thought of that. Hmm, good thinking. Um, yeah, like I don't know. Like I just feel a feeling of fear when it comes to the things that come out of the mouths of the Mackenzies and or Martells. They sound like rough folks to me. Yeah, I would agree, you know. And remember, I'm from the area. Like I live here. Not everybody, uh, that's not the majority. That is definitely, I mean, I would admit there's issues with abuse here in Nova Scotia in general, and it is bad here in Pictou County. That's just a fact, and I've been preaching that for a long time. Um, and even harassment and bullying in the workplace and it stuff like that lives long here in Pictou County. Um, but even outside of that, what I see in these folks is beyond even that. It's just uh I don't know, it just makes me feel fear. Yeah. And I've always had a hard time listening to Janie. And part of it is probably, I mean, of course, because we know that obviously that's what Lily and Jack were amongst, right? And outside of that, because you're listening to the cycle, right? Because you have her siblings, you have Daniel, you have, I don't, kind of Earl a little bit. So you can see the cycle and, where things stem from with uh, Daniel, where it all stems from. And because you're looking at the generation before him. And it's just, I don't know, ugh, find it triggering. I do find it triggering. Um, yeah, I'm going to go back up here a little bit. Lori, thank you for being here. Christina, hi, thanks for being here. Hi, Nova. I listened to the clips Mike D played over the last week or two. Yeah, yeah. And I was going to play them on the last live. I think you were there too, Christina. And then I got a little nervous because I couldn't quite remember exactly what everything Janie said, but I listened to them again. And as long as I pull out the beginning of what Mike says, I think we'll be fine as far as we don't want to connect this to anything else that's going on right now, if you guys are getting my drift, um, because there is a protection, there is a ban. So we want to be careful with that. So we're not going to talk about any of that. We're just going to focus on what Janie is saying, and how distorted it is, how uh, demented it is, um, delusional. It's like, and I've said this way back as soon as I started cluing into what was going on here. Delusional thinking. It's delusional. It's like their thinking is from another world. It's not of the world, that you and I, where our thinking comes from. It's like from the make-believe world of delusion. That's all I can say. It's scary. Um, and, you know, And it's like no matter what shows that no, there's no way that that is fact or truth. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You're supposed to agree with that delusional thinking, whether any of it makes sense or has any facts or truth to it. It doesn't matter. And it's very scary to think that, um, I mean, it's obvious that it's been a way that has worked with their circle of individuals in their life, right? And it's been okay and it's worked, and that's just how you tick and you get on by, you know? And then you come from the world of delusion to folks with us and try to pass that off, and we're just like, what the hell? Come on now. Um, it's scary, very scary. And and to me, it just makes me feel like any individual or individuals like that can do anything and just pass it off as, um, you know, oh, this is what happened. This is what's going on there. Because it's okay to just spew some delusional thoughts and expect everyone's just going to follow suit with that. I've never been a sheeple. I've always stopped and thought for myself. And um, yeah, so everyone was saying, she said who the victim was, but I didn't hear that. Is that true? If we cut out the beginning of what Mike says, Janie doesn't say, we're better off just it's so hard. It's hard when you followed the story from the not the story, I hate calling it a story because a story isn't a book, right? Although some of them are true. But, well, there is true crime, we're gonna get into that too in a bit. Um, we've all followed this from the beginning, so it's really hard to me, as long as you're not outright discussing that case and then saying the name of the person involved in that and not, you know, fine, right? Or if somebody is talking about somebody and they're not totally stating what they're referencing to, right? Because you wouldn't be able to connect the dots. That's fine. So I guess the best way to put it is if anybody new come into this chat right now and has never heard this case before, what I'm going to play of Mike Dammann from Mike Dammann, they would never connect the dots. They wouldn't know what the heck, you know. Like if I said, you know, John went to court due to S assault of Jimmy McClucken, right? Then that's an issue because anybody new coming into this chat right now, they're going to understand that, right? And because I named the victim and I connected it to the charges of John. Um, you know what I'm saying? So without that information, nobody would know who's being discussed and what I'm going to play. Now, because we have followed the case, yes, we can presume and assume, right? Um, you know, so I hope that is yeah. So I hope that helps, if you understand what I'm saying. Um, yeah. I think Janie is in denial, um, in my opinion. She did not cause the disappearance, but has guilty knowledge. Yeah, and I don't know if you watched Christina. I actually did a video about denial, and as Janie, Janie is the topic, and it had to do with, Mike's tapes. I didn't play it, but I just pulled some things from it that she had talked about, and um, yeah, they. I talked about the two different types of denial. When you're intentionally denying something to lie, right? And or you're literally your brain is trying your mind is trying to protect you, and your body will do that, right? Our bodies will do what they need to do to protect us. Little bear, you said something, did I miss it? I know I seen it there, something about Digby. Where did it go? Nova is Digby in Pictou County. No, no, or part of it. Nope, nope. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Oh, Christina, that reminds me. You had asked me about um fish packing plants here, and I had said Logan's. It's not actually called Logan's. It's called Northern Seafoods. Oh God, if you look it up, Pictou County fish packing, it'll come up. But I think it's Northern Seafoods. Now, uh, Logan's takes their seafood and packages it and sells it too. So that's why I was getting it mixed up. And yeah. So if you look that up, you'll see that. You'll see that in Logan's. Yeah. And that is down in Pictou. Uh, it's actually right on the water. My husband and I, that's where we used to get our lobsters. We would when I'm looking over this way, I'm looking at the chat just so you guys know. Um and yeah, so we used to go down there, and the boats that just came in, you used to be able to walk down, and the boat would you just wait, and then the boat would come in, and you go right over to the boat, and they'd give you the lobsters that just came in, that they just took in out of the traps. That's how fresh we get our lobster here. But then they stopped that. They wouldn't. I think it had something to do with COVID when they stopped people from doing that. So we haven't tried it in a few years, but yeah, it was nice because you go for a nice drive down there, and then you go get your fresh lobsters. I mean, you can't get them any fresher than that, and delicious. I came from a small village, and it's kind of the same mentality. You don't rat on anyone else. Yeah, there's a lot of that in Nova Scotia. And yeah, hazing and degrading ceremonies. Yes, hockey team just happened. Is so normalized all over Nova Scotia. I started playing pickleball, and a woman who my mother knows felt comfortable doing it to me and my friend. What? Like that's an issue. Like I I would not put my kids in hockey. They went to karate. I've never ever heard tell of hazing taking place in karate and swimming lessons. Um, because I thought, no, no, they're not going into any sports like that. Those very competitive sports. No, no. Um, I was actually told there is a railway station there, Yellowstone reference. Do you know what? Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. So just the facts, ma'am. Literally. Uh, I said to my husband, this reminds me of the poor version of Yellowstone. So you're getting those vibes too. And yeah, I totally pick up what you're laying down there. Yes. Big fan of Yellowstone. Mhm. Yeah. Everybody will be watching Yellowstone now who hasn't. Uh, but I said that to my husband. I said, "This is like the poor version of Yellowstone." Yeah. Yeah, use your emojis, guys. Everybody says they love my emojis. Um, uh, if I were a little child, Janie would terrify me 100%. Just with her voice and her facial expressions. Yeah, same. Christina says, or Cheryl. Yeah. JM and a lot of her kin are very prejudiced towards the lazy natives. In quotations, yes, because we know that's not true. um, I've heard it myself where I grew up. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. And we're gonna play Michelle's clip, by the way, in case anybody hasn't seen it yet. I know it was played on probably one or two other channels. I don't care. I am playing it again. That woman is a warrior. She truly is. Um, yeah. Root Strength. Hi, thanks for being here. Always a pleasure. What a beautiful voice to keep me company. I'm on my way home to Halifax. Will drive safe, please. um, yeah. Yeah. It is crazy. Yep. Oh, thank you, Just the Facts, man. Yeah, she seems like a firecracker. Oh my God. For sure, eh? My husband and I just laugh. My husband and I are such advocates for, um, the fact that, uh, one thing that really disgusted me, him and I both, we went to, oh, what the heck do you call those? It's like a museum, you know, and it had the stories of certain things that happened in Nova Scotia, the history, right? And so you started at the start of the line and then you went down and it was like these big pictures and you'd read it and it was telling the story leading up um till you get to the end. And then at the end, the very last poster, it was they're big pictures with this part of the story on it, was indigenous, and I thought, "Well, that doesn't make sense." Like, they should have been at the beginning, you know? Why are they not at the beginning? They were here first, remember? They should be the first picture, the first poster in this story, not at the end. And I can't even remember exactly what it stated, but what it stated too was just like, that's it was disgraceful, you know? Uh, yeah, that's their First Nations. First Nations. They should be at beginning. They were first. First. And that includes my ancestors. Uh, but yeah, so it's quite disgusting. So then, I just always say to my husband, and we have conversations quite a bit about it, and I say, just imagine, if we had of taken on each other's cultures and, So you look at one culture and, okay, well, let's say Italian, Italiano, right? I mean, could we do without Italian meals? You know, like they are known for the cooking, the cooking and the wine, right? Um, and other things. But, you know, if we embraced cultures and what different cultures can add, right? Or do add, but we need to accept it. Can you imagine what we would have learned from the First Nations individuals? I mean, can you imagine? Like, medicine, uh, your their spiritual ways, right? Instead, they were pushed into Catholicism, forced, not even pushed. Um, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, it's so disgusting. And then I look at not to mention those who pretty much have lost their ancestry. I mean, you lose it because mine goes 3 generations back, but that that was taken away from the First Nations. Um, so, and I hope I'm making sense. So, it's all this stuff that kind of comes to you. So I watch a lot of indigenous documentaries and things like that. And I was watching this documentary and this First Nations lady was speaking about um, her indigenous heritage and her ancestry and great 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 grandparents. And I was thinking that is so interesting, right? Like she has the ability to be able to sit there and talk about 3 generations back and how those ancestors of hers um instilled in them what they still carry with them today and pass along to their generations. And but me, I lost that, right? Because of what took place generations ago. And First Nations, indigenous, not of all sorts, uh, were weeded out, and it's all very disgusting. It's disgusting, what they did, and that's what they did. They weeded out um, the indigenous culture, is what they did. Um, but anyways, I get fired up about it, and but I'm no Michelle, I'll tell you that. But it's all disturbing. It's disturbing. So Little Black Bear says, I agree. Um, and Charlie, hearts, hearts, hearts. I hate to admit it, but my parents were racist. My father actually piled all of us kids into the car one night to go see a burning cross on the front lawn of an African American family. Can you imagine? No, no. But I remember growing up around stuff like that as well. Just disgusting. Um, yeah. I always thought the K in the of C were the KKK, of which my father was a Green Knight. Oh no. Yeah, terrible. It's such a sad commentary of our history. It is. It is. And it amazes me that, you know, our government and others, and we're not going to get into the whole political crap of it all because we like to stay away from that. But there is a political aspect to it. But it amazes me that some people, some view it as it being as simple as, just not using certain words and not being a part of, you know, uh, extreme groups like, KKK and crap like that, right? Like, because it's not just as simple as that, you know? When you're putting a part of a story at the end of a complete story instead of at the beginning where it was supposed to be, that's disgraceful. Anyways, in my opinion. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I bet. Yeah. Yeah, I remember certain things too in the town that I grew up in that were pretty disgusting. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So great discussion, guys. So where do we want to start? Do you want to start with the Janie tapes? And we'll listen to that first, or do you want to take a look at Michelle's video? I know a lot of you guys have seen it. Maybe some haven't. Uh, and we already had the discussion. You know what? Let's just bring that video up because we already had the discussion. And pretty much. And so we'll bring it up. Mm, just give me 1 second. Oh, Cheryl sent me something else. Cheryl, do you think that's okay to pull up to share? Because I can't exactly tell what it says, but I'll bring it up if it's okay to share, if you say so in chat. Oh, yes. And yes, Mr. Geddes will be giving a performance tonight, folks, just in case you weren't aware. Um, yeah. Mhm. I love Chief Michelle. I love Chief Michelle. If you guys can't hear, okay, let me know and I will correct it for you guys. Should be able to see it now. Yeah. Wonder if I can I guess you don't really need it bigger. Do, 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 do. I can't make it bigger anyways, I don't think.
Hey everybody, Chief Michelle here with Sabaganaggity. So I'm getting word there's 3 raids going on currently in 3 different First Nation communities. Bulladeck, Bakangeg, and Wekoma. I'm hearing that there's going to be more on other communities. So what we're doing in Sabaganaggity, already started, we're going to have checkpoints at our entrance and at our exits. If you're up here visiting family or you live here, come on up. If you're not trying to do us any harm, you're welcome in our community. But for those who want to do us harm, by force in our community, you're not welcome here. And if you're foolish enough to come up here, you better be smart enough to figure out how you're getting out. Straight
Yep.
up. Our roads are blocked. So, have a good day, everybody. Stay safe. And remember, we as Mi'kmaq has jurisdiction over these lands. Sorry, I'm getting fired up, but I'm tired of this government trying to push us around and tell us what
Yep.
we can do and we can't do. You're not telling us. We're telling you.
And guess what?
Hey, everybody. Chief Michelle here with Sabag. So I'm getting word
Everybody
there's
should be
3
saying that.
raids
And
going
that's
on.
another thing. That is another thing that peeves me off is the fact that people get peeved off when First Nations or any Indigenous group stands up for their rights. Like, hello, everybody should. We all should. Like, hello. um, yeah, like the 300,000 that Houston just gave the province for a Nova Scotia advocate. Like, no, no. People need to fight for something better. But guess what? Nobody will. Nobody will. So we should all fight like the First Nations folks fight. Yeah. So, but people will put them down instead of saying, geez, we need to fight for our rights too. Like, we need to stand with them. Uh, it's just ridiculous. So, I know some people have some questions there. So, let me go back up. And by the way, this is Michelle is the same chief who has put out anyone who is known in their community to be selling, making rugs in their community. There is a reward if you come and uh, turn that person in, who will then be turned in to the police. Um, so, or perhaps they'll deal with it in their way. But my assumption would be is that police would then be involved. I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but um, yeah. So ACAB. I don't know what that means. Um, who's rating them? Well, it would be RCMP. Only RCMP would be allowed because they have jurisdiction, right? And they need to get their own policing. Stop this stuff. The fascist police. Yeah, RCMP. But the thing is, RCMP, when the government come out and said that, um, which is that was disgusting in itself. Like, good God, um, racist, like so racist. Um, but when they come out and said that about, raiding these communities, um, RCMP then kind of just, what they put out, they just kind of brushed it off and were like, we'll be doing business as usual, right? So I took that as if there's a need for a raid, then there'll be a raid because obviously anybody anywhere could be selling inappropriate rugs in their as a cover, right? In their MJ shop, their cannabis shop, right? So you could have and that could be anybody. It doesn't matter what community, what color, what culture, what anything, right? That's going to happen. That's just how it works, right? So, could be a cannabis shop, but out in the back shop, they're selling Coca-Cola and mathematics, right? But to just go in and willy-nilly do raids in particular communities, um, that's an issue. So when our CMP said, "Hey, we know what we're doing, business as usual," I took that as, well, yeah, if there's a need and they have a reason to believe somebody's selling Coca-Cola or uh, mathematics out in the back shop, well, yeah, they're going to raid them, right? Um, but it doesn't seem that that's what's going on here. I support them every time I drive by. Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, cannabis shops. Yeah, yeah. And Lori says, "I love Michelle, strong woman." Yes, absolutely. Not only is she a voice for First Nations, she is for women as well, big time. Uh, Stand together. Yep. RCMP have been ordered to do this. Yeah. By the government, exactly. Yeah. And that's why I say it's kind of hard to stay away from the politics of it, but we won't get too deep into it. I know we all have thoughts. Uh yeah, the premier, sorry, I think I said prime minister. Most Canadians will not stand up, right? In my opinion, Alberta has started, and Saskatchewan, in my opinion, the rest of us need to do like the natives. Exactly. And Quebec too. They tend to, they'll kick up a fuss when they have to as well. Yeah. Um, and PEI can get their backs up too. I lived in PEI for a little bit, and yeah, yeah. The government is trying to get people to buy from exactly root strength from the agencies. They regulate so that they can collect tax off the sales 100% from that and the e-cig stuff, because don't forget that they sell the e-cig stuff too. And this is why I'm saying about embracing other cultures, because who thinks, if you were to choose any culture that had the monopoly on tobacco and certain things like cannabis and any types of herbs and who would that be? Who would it be that you would want if you had to pick one culture to have the monopoly on that? It would be indigenous. They know they have good practices. They have good education on it. They know what they're doing. So I'll tell you that. So when this became legal, I was in my 40s. I had never ever touched marijuana in my life up to that point because I follow the law and it was illegal. My husband and I both. So uh we said, well, we got to try it, right? It's legal. And so we went, oh, we um actually, my uncle did it with us because he was already a smoker of it. So to be safe and have proper education, he did it with us. Um, and made sure that, everything went okay. And yeah, I know. Such nerds, eh? Such nerds. Um, and then after that, when we puffed it again, we bought it at the liquor store. And I was, it was horrible. Like I said to my husband, like, that is not like the stuff that my uncle had. Like, it petrified me because I was like, was there crack? Did somebody sneak crack in there or something? Like, because I've never done any of those drugs. I didn't know anything about math or anything. Like, I just didn't know about this stuff. But I was saying that to him, like, did somebody spike it with something else? Like, That was really bad, right? Um, and I thought, "I'm never touching that stuff again. Never." Like, that was horrible. Um, anyways, but then I did it again, and it was the stuff from the, reservation, and education. So, I was with my husband when he purchased it, and I said, "I had a really hard time, you know, before, and maybe, like, I don't know, do I have an allergy? Like, what the heck happened, right? It was totally different than the stuff my uncle had." And, anyways, they did all this education and which stuff was best, and anyways, and that stuff was normal, right? And then to find out that the stuff my uncle had purchased as well also came from, um, the reserve as well, right? So, no, like, I mean, they know what they're doing, and that stuff in the liquor stores is garbage. I mean, when you go when y y and I mean, that's it for me, like, I don't do marijuana anymore, like, I tried it and that was it, and I was, like, done with that, right? Thank God I don't have, like, an addictive personality because I can try something and go, "Nah, done with that." Um, but, uh but, like, to compare both and see the difference, like, that stuff from the liquor store is garbage, it's junk, it's horrible. Uh, yeah. I have a medical card to buy it. Yeah, yeah, but it's garbage, and, I would much rather and by the way, when we purchased it from the liquor store, I went in to speak to the person then as well because I want education. I have questions, um, you know, because it was new to me and it was the first time I was ever trying it, and I wanted to ask questions, what's the best for pain? Um what stuff is strong, what stuff isn't. I don't want anything well, they didn't know anything. I knew absolutely nothing. They could not answer my questions. So, I'm sorry, but, the indigenous, uh, specifically First Nations here in Nova Scotia, should have the monopoly on tobacco and on the e-cigs and on, uh cannabis. Cannabis, tobacco, and e-cigs. Support small businesses, and that's the other thing. I mean, when we go down to the reserve here, for the e-cig stuff, um, I mean, they're doing so well. They're doing so well at the reserve here, and I just love seeing it. I'm so happy that they're able to run these businesses and um and they're doing well and they're happy and um some of them have little restaurants set up as well, like really nice place, really 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 nice place. And they have the music going out in the deck, like it's really nice. But anyways, and I don't find the government of Nova Scotia supports small businesses anymore anyways. When I grew up here in Pictou County, that was a big thing. If you wanted to start a small business, the government would support you and there were programs to help you, but that's a thing of the past. They don't support small business owners anymore. It's strange. I would buy some from the reservation for pain because of arthritis. Because they were knowledgeable, yep, on the different strengths for night and day. Yeah, they know their shit. Like, they can answer your questions, and the stuff that they have is not garbage. Um, yeah. And now I'm not saying every single place you're gonna walk into on a reserve is gonna be like that because like I said, no matter where in any community, obviously, or Michelle wouldn't have put out, um if anybody comes forward with knowledge of anyone in their community who is selling illegal drugs, making illegal drugs and whatnot, illegal activity going on with drugs in their community, uh, that there's a $20,000 compensation for that. So she admits as well. It can happen in any community. It doesn't matter what community it is. But yeah, I tried the CBD. It made me feel really weird. Like in my head. I was like, I don't like that. But I've got I mean, I still have the odd critical period with my pain. Like after I had the flu there, it was really bad just because of being sick and what you go through with a flu or whatever and coughing. Um, yeah, or when I was playing peekaboo with my grandson and it irritated the upper disc air compression in my neck. Um, because I'm not supposed to lift my hand above my head and I did. Uh, so but outside of that, I'm able to keep my pain down around a 5, between a 3 and a 5 daily. Um, and then I have my critical areas of pain, which I use heat, and I have called tramadol, and I'm allowed to have 1 or 2 of those. So, yeah, I would buy some from the reserve. You need to try Dr. Teal's bath salts with cannabis oil. Hmm. Okay. That's different. Dr. Keel's with cannabis oil. Does it make you stink? Or did they put something with it so it doesn't stink? You can even buy it in cream form or tubes. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to look that up. Dr. Teal's. I'll remember that because teal is one of my favorite colors. I'm white and find it terrible what some of the white peoples have done to the natives. Grew up with many native friends. When down in Nova Scotia, they did not welcome me. Mm, there, because I was of the color we are. Yeah, yeah. Then it's not shocking what you're saying at all. One race created by creator, in my opinion, that I believe. Yeah, people. Yeah. Anywho, shall we move on to from we're gonna go from a strong warrior of a woman to Janie, which honestly, Janie's probably if if she was what she thinks she is, and if you listen to Mike's tapes, you know what I mean. She probably could be a warrior too, but oh, wait a minute. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. Let's go to see what Cheryl sent me as well. Um, just give me, I'll unshare this or I'll just do this. I'll pull that up while I get it ready and you guys won't see what I'm doing. Right. Do that. I'm trying to get it so you don't see all my stuff. No, that's not what I wanna do. Uh, oh my goodness, now I lost the messages. I'm so terrible at Facebook, you guys. You wouldn't believe it. I'm horrible at it. Oh, thank you, Cheryl, the Miss Dr. Teals. Pain is horrible, man. I'm telling you. Okay, well, how about I just read it because um uh I can't get it without showing other people on my post or on my Facebook. So I'm going to read it. So this is from Pictou Landing First Nations. So this is First Nation, sorry. I always say it with an S. This is where my husband and I go. Well, he goes, I go for the drive with him. Um, it's a beautiful drive. Um, and they sell cannabis there and they sell the e-cig products. Uh, yeah. Enforcement, March 5th, 2026. Enforcement, enforcement and compliance in Pictou Landing First Nation. We want to make it clear to the public, the province and law enforcement that compliance and enforcement activities cannot simply take place within Pictou Landing First Nation without proper collaboration and engagement with our community. The enforcement of provincial cannabis laws on reserve raises serious concerns and risks undermining the honor of the Crown, while disregarding the legal and historical agreements that define the relationship between the Mi'kmaq Nation and the Government of Canada. Once again, the province has failed to appropriately engage with the Mi'kmaq. Meaningful consultation with our First Nation is not optional. It is a responsibility that must be upheld when decisions and actions impact our communities, our lands, and our people. I agree. Pictou Landing First Nation holds inherent rights and governance that must be respected. Any enforcement actions carried out without prior dialogue, coordination, and recognition of our jurisdiction raise serious concerns for our community. When police proceed with compliance and enforcement measures within our territory without that engagement, it risks infringing upon our rights and disregarding the nation to nation relationship that should exist between the province and the Mi'kmaq. To ensure the province is fully aware of our concerns, this statement will also be shared directly with relevant provincial representatives so they are informed directly rather than learning of these concerns solely through media coverage. Our community remains open to respectful dialogue and collaboration. However, continued actions taken without meaningful engagement leave us with limited options. If this pattern continues, pursuing legal avenues may become necessary to ensure that our rights, governance, and jurisdiction are respected. Hmm. Chief Young and Counsel. Very well said. Yep. Very well said, for sure. One race street. Yes, people. I've tried government regulated shops as well. I prefer the reservation. I'll try the cream. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna check out the cream too and the salts. Okay, let's go over to Janie. I know some people are not from Nova Scotia and they're just like, what the heck? Uh, because they're interested in true crime or Lily and Jack. Um, yeah, but uh, but yeah. Okay, so let me get the Mike's video here, and then I just have to go to the timestamp to cut out the part that I don't want played. We're gonna listen to two of them. We're gonna listen to the other one. It's called The Same Script. Um, and I'm gonna keep the picture up of Lily and Jack because I don't even want the title of this video to show. Um, yeah, so you'll see the picture of Lily and Jack, and then I will play it. That's better to look at anyways. Lily and Jack. Okay, 3:46. Now the other thing is, guys, there's no way to do it without Mike talking. So you're gonna hear him talking as well, okay? There's part of it that we don't have to listen to. We can listen to some of it and then we'll skip to another part, 9:31. Because there is a big long part where he's talking that we don't have to listen to it. So, and this is Mike Dammann. His channel is Statement Analysis, and I'll leave that up to you if you want to go join the channel. Yeah. 3:46. All right. If any issues hearing it, let me know and I'll correct that.
Is she's trying to take the heat off of herself.
Why? Exactly. Don't just hint. Tell us what you think she did.
And put it on Daniel to make.
Put what on Daniel? What are you talking about?
Daniel look bad because things aren't going her way.
What do you mean things are not going her way? Her children are gone. Her children are missing, right? What exactly isn't going her way?
And this is a way of getting him to try to
what?
get him to do things that she wants.
Like what?
So what I mean by that is there's Cody.
Oh, now you're going into Cody? Cody was years ago.
She was with Cody.
Uh-huh.
Cody gave up. It didn't want nothing to do with her anymore.
Yeah, and also Belinda said that Cody was overwhelmed. In her opinion, being a young father and having responsibility, I don't know. I mean, now you're interpreting Cody's actions. That still wouldn't explain Cody not being interested in his children.
So we signed the kids over to her so we could get rid of her. And
Oh, I see. So he hated her so much and she was such a bad person that he sacrificed his own kids for his peace of mind. Okay, that's Janie's logic.
I think this is what she's trying to do with Daniel. That's my opinion.
Oh, I see. You see, you always have to listen very, very closely in order to get a feel for what her intentions are. What is her intention with her statement?
And as far as it goes, Daniel's not cooperating with her, and she doesn't like it.
Daniel isn't what? Co-op-narrating?
And she's playing the victim here, and probably going to play a mental that she was in the mental hospital.
Oh my God. So everything she's doing.
Okay, so I'll pause there and we'll discuss that part, and then I'll go to the area that we don't need to listen to, and then we'll go back. Yeah, exactly, Daphne. Exactly. Um, Hi, and thanks for being here, Daphne. Daniel makes himself look bad. Exactly. Exactly. When did she ever make him look bad? Like, it's not Daniel's own actions that make him look bad, you know, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. Um, it's so delusional. And do you remember the big long message I wrote to you, Daphne? And I was like, it's such delusional thinking. So delusional. And she's so trying to convince you to just go along with it. Like it's just average, everyday, normal thinking. And that was over the interview with CBC News and her stating the only footprint that was found was right here. And Allie, in a normal, sweet, low voice says, but I thought down the road there, it was confirmed that there was footprints of Lily's found there, or children's footprints found there. And she says, "Yes, yes, Malaya said that. But I'm telling you, the only footprint was right here, and it was Jack's." And it's like, none of that is true. None of it was in the documents. Um, it's never been mentioned by our CMP. Um, you know, and she's her delusional thought, with no truth or facts behind it, is uh, that the only footprint ever found was right here and it's Jack's. And, and it's not true. It's just not true. And it's so scary. Like, it is scary. It's like someone saying that's purple and you can clearly see it's red. No matter what, they're going to try to convince you it's purple. It's purple. It's purple. Man. And it has nothing to do with Cody. Exactly. And, when your own mother, Belinda, states what took place there, and she was very honest, he was dealing with addictions and he couldn't be a father at the time. That's what she's put out there. Um, and, excuse me. And the thing is, you never know how things are gonna work out down the road. I mean, yeah, time had went by, but would there have been a point where Cody would have got his shit together and then realized, what am I doing here? Like, I have two children, and I mean, it's happened. It's happened, right? Where somebody's snapped out of it, got their shit together, and then come back and said, I'm sorry. I want to be a father to these children. I was wrong, and I have a lot of time to make up for. But all those options are gone now, you know? Um, but and that's happened to men and women where, whether no matter what the reason is at the time, they just can't be a parent for whatever reason. Um, there's children that end up in foster care for short periods of time due to certain circumstances, and they go back to their parents and or parent, and everything's fine after that. But that during those circumstances, there were things that that individual had to deal with. Um, but you know and who will ever know if that was ever going to be happen, right? Because that's been taken away. Um, oh, is it raining there, Daphne? You're lucky. Get rid of the snow. Uh, Malaya hasn't said anything much. So how did she make him look bad? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I thought the same thing. And like when she was going, I was like, oh my gosh, that poor woman. That poor woman. Yeah. Well, like I said at the beginning of this, like this behavior and mentality and just such delusional thinking, to me, it gives me a feeling of fear. Like I feel fear. Um, yeah. Yeah, she comes off so aggressive. Um, and has lights. Light. Janie comes off so aggressive and has lights. Yeah, snow almost gone. Oh, you lucky bugger. So you guys, see, we still have tons of snow here, and we could still get more in March. So, uh, yeah. So even though fishing season will start in April, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. Uh, I know. I know exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like if I feel that, that's why I say even if Lily and Jack took off because out of fear, feeling that same feeling, right? Like, and they wouldn't even understand why. Like it wouldn't be like, little ones would say, "Let's get the hell out of here. These folks are crazy." They would just have those feelings inside and want to escape to something better, whether it was to try to get to school or just go enjoy nature, and go for a walk or try to get to somebody else's house or whatever, right? And something took place. It's still, in my opinion, no matter what was going on that property that drove them to that, right? If that's what took place, you know, and caused them to perish or caused someone to come along and snatch them, right? Which I don't really believe that took place, but yeah, yeah, same Nova. The rain clears the snow. Then once you think spring is here, we get a foot. Yes, yes, the farmer's blanket, they call it. Yeah, exactly. Janie must have been really mistreated as the child. I agree. That's why I say that's part of why I find this also scary as well, is because we're watching a cycle, right? You hear about the cycle. Well, we can imagine in our minds why Daniel is the way he is, right? And then we see what Janie's like and all her siblings, pretty much all of them. Won't throw them all under the bus. But so kind of opens your eyes, right, to generations of a cycle here. Uh, Even back 4 generations, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And apparently, I don't know if you guys caught Sonny's live last night, that Jim McKenzie or James McKenzie, the grave digger, was taking pictures. Or I don't know if I think it was the daughter as he was driving, which, okay. So again, just the mentality of these folks. First of all, what the heck are you taking pictures for of somebody else who, like, it's just ridiculous, you know? Um, and second of all, uh, it's so they're so confusing. Like one day it's one thing, the next day it's something else because he's the one who was going on about rugs out there and the rug issue, and that even uh, he thinks even Logan is on something, not the math, but maybe the Coca-Cola. Like uh, the whole lot of them is just, I'm telling you. Uh, just wait, I think I might have missed. Yeah. The snowdrifts almost caused us to get T-bone 2 weeks ago, and I literally thought I was going to. Oh, yeah, that's scary. That would be scary. I can't believe it's coming up a year. I know, right? I know. Less than 2 months. And nothing on Lily and Jack. Yep. And why then? What happened within the past few weeks to lead up to their disappearance? Yeah, right. Exactly. Because we know certain things, in those type of relationships can uh, get worse when somebody's going to leave. Um, even if, you know, even if he just felt that that was going to happen, or, you know, yeah, something happened. Or was there more Matthews going on, maybe, you know? Like what was going on? 3 adults on that property and they say nothing unbelievable. Yeah, I know. Well, we don't 100% know what Malay is saying. I always thought, and you guys can go back to my earlier videos, I always thought and hope that she was close with the RCMP on this. And we do know that they meet with her once a week. She does talk with them, so that's a definite. Um, Janie and Daniel at their wits' end, in my opinion. I agree, Daphne. Nothing to lose. So, yeah, they will do what they can to change the outcome. Exactly. And I mean, I was like, okay, why is she starting this up again now? Why is she coming out? But then you look at everything else going on, which we won't go there because of certain reasons, but you look at certain things going on and then you're kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get it, right? Um Reminds me of the old moonshiners. Some just nasty. Yep. Yep. I agree with you. Little black bear. Yeah. Oh yeah, Brad said he's been doing that for a while now. Yeah. 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 Like Yeah, why don't you go help your addict relatives, maybe get them off the rugs? Help Daniel stay off the rugs instead of getting around taking pictures of people. Um, Maybe go talk with your sister and advise her that therapy would be in your best interest. Um, yeah, James Mackenzie. Yep. James, Jim. Some people call him Jim, James. And he's got another nickname. He's got a nickname. I can't remember it, but it's a weird nickname. Uh, Kaz, maybe. Kaz, something like that. Um, yeah, yeah. Your sister said she has nobody to talk to, Jim. You might want to go sit and talk with her and encourage her to call those free numbers that I gave on the live that we had discussing denial. It's free mental health services. Look at Novah's Inquest Facebook. Yeah. Lilly&Jack, Lilly&Jack. Yes, James Mackenzie is another one of brothers. Yep. There's a slew of them. James, Ron, Wayne, Muriel. Who am I missing? James, Ron, Wayne, Harvey, James, Ron, Wayne, Harvey. I know there's another one. I just know there is. Alvin, thank you, just the facts, man. You got it. Yeah. So many Mackenzies. Alvin, yep. Yep. Yeah. So Harvey and Alvin too. Yeah. Five boys. And there could be more. Who the heck knows? Those are the ones that we know of. It would be funny if he kept driving by my house. Oh, I would be fumed. Did I get that out of that? I just started saying whatever I wanted. I would be fuming if he kept driving by my house. Yeah, like Brad has a wife and kids. Yep, that's ridiculous. He's doing that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep, Harvey, Alvin, James, Ron, Muriel. Exactly. Wayne plus Janie. Right on. You got her. You got it. You got it. You got it. All right, let's listen to the second part of this. And I know, like, this is the first time I've ever played anything of Janie's because I get so revved up. I find her so triggering. And, ugh, anyways. But I thought, you know what? As a reminder of what poor Lily and Jack lived with. And this is just Janie. Like we know Daniel's got that. Thanks for being here, Daphne. Lots of love, lots of positive vibes. Um, you know, and oh, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. All right, I just gotta find the other timestamp here, guys. $9:31.
She's working some kind of scheme. You just wait and see.
Oh,
And when this is all over with, I'm telling you.
what is all over with? This is what? This, do you mean this case? Do you mean the kids, their whereabouts not being known? What exactly are you referring to?
Right now, when this is all over with, you guys are going to look like such fools.
Who is you guys? I'm only me. I'm not working with anybody. Or let me say it like this: the few people I am actually researching with, you don't know who they are, right? It could be just me. Well, it's not just. I have help from some people. It's mostly me. But who's you guys? Who the hell are you talking to?
Because you're not taking the time to do your research.
Research what?
Can you imagine, guys, not taking the time to do research? Oh my, I held back on so much. I was so respectful on that. I held back on things that were sent to me, things people told me, because I just wanted to make sure, right? I wanted to make sure. I'm not doing research. I mean, what research would you have to do? All you had to do was listen to what Daniel was saying and putting it all out there himself. Um, yeah. And again, listening to someone saying, that boot print was right here and it was Jack's and that's the only boot print. And that's not true. That's not true. It's just so delusional.
Janie.
You just listen to a lot of gossip.
I don't listen to any
Awesome.
channel about this, by the way. I listen to your statements, Daniel's statements, and Malaya's statements, and that's more than enough.
And you're just sucking it all in. And
oh my God. Janie McKenzie, you don't have a damn clue what you're talking about. If you compare me to others, then you have no idea what it is I'm doing.
Believing everything that was.
I don't believe anything, Janie.
So the only people that were talking were her and Daniel. And she's saying we're believing everything. We're not doing our research and we're believing everything that was told to us. Well, it was from you guys. It was them talking. Malaya wasn't talking. And Malaya, her family just came out, just did their first television media interviews. Nobody was talking except her and Daniel.
You are telling me with your own language.
There, exactly.
You are telling me. You are lying. You are lying like crazy. Do I have to show you plaids? Right now? How about right now? This is all about.
Excuse me. That went down the wrong way. Oh my God. Oh, little bear, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So nice. Thank you. And I have a new thank you song. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you. Yeah, anyways, none of that makes any sense. Am I the only one that thinks that? Seriously? Am I seriously? None of it makes any sense. I'm listening to it and I'm like, none of it makes any sense. Yeah. So we'll go to the other one there. There was another one, this one.
Okay, are you still with me? Let's hear it. I asked about the past. I asked about Malaya, and how she
You guys
was
hear
with
that?
Jack and Lily. And because the reason I want to put the pieces together here, because Belinda told us, of course, that she remembers Malaya as being a wonderful mother. Okay. And I think it's pretty much agreed on that this has
Can you guys hear that
changed.
okay? Okay.
Now, I want to know, how has this changed? And ain't I good at multitasking, people? This is not a live interview, but it's really similar. It feels like one, which I absolutely love. Let's hear what she has to say.
She stopped caring for Jack and Lily when Meadow was born. Everything was Meadow, 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 Meadow.
Okay.
That's all she cared about was Meadow.
So you and Logan are saying the same thing, right? So did you guys talk about what are we going to say to people about Malaya?
So, and that's another thing I wanted to touch on. So, excuse me. So in the last recording, she had said she wants to put this all on Daniel. Now, does anybody remember when the reporter who did the interview with Daniel and Daniel stated to the reporter, and that reporter had said, "That'll always stick with me," because it scared her that he had said it. He said that, "I'm afraid that Malaya's gonna try to put this all on me." And so if you didn't notice, in the last recording we just listened to, Janie stated that she's trying to put this all on Daniel. So she's saying the same thing, he's saying it. And now we have um, her repeating exactly what Logan had stated as well. It's just strange.
It's very similar.
After Meadow was born, when she had to go for groceries, she left the kids with Daniel to look after. Or if she took the kids with her, Daniel had to go with her because she.
Now imagine. So you have two preschoolers, and then up to 4 and 6 years old, and a new baby. And, it just, again, stuff like that scares me because I'm thinking that's normal. It's normal for a mother to say, "Hey, I'll go in town with the baby and grab a few things. Can you keep an eye on the two older ones?" To expect a mom to be able to handle 3 children, it's not easy, right? I mean, when a mother has to do that because she has no help for whatever reason, it's difficult. It's not an easy task, right? Because, of course, preschoolers and young school age children at 4 and 6, they're going to do what kids do, right? Kids are kids. That's just how it is, right? So, of course, um, to not even put anybody in those circumstances and to de-escalate the whole situation, if two of you are available and there, one, you break it up, right? You break those tasks up. So mom takes the baby, the two older ones stay home, or vice versa, whatever, right? uh, that is normal. But it's like any normal thing that a parent or individual would do, it's being used to, um, you know, bash Malaya as a mother. Again, I'm not saying that Malaya hasn't done anything wrong, or I've always said, right, there's accountability and culpability. Um, um, definitely accountability and of neglectfulness and culpability of what else we don't know, same as Daniel, but just saying that, uh, you know, whether she's talking about Malaya or she's talking about any mother, um, that just the mindset is very scary. The mindset is just like it just tells you how the mindset is. Excuse me. Um, oh, scroll back up here. What are you guys saying? Sure is. What's Daniel got anything on that he can't help? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing, like, and if he if he says, you know, "No, I'm not watching the kid," well, Lily and Jack or whatever, and then she says, "Okay, well, will you come in town with me?" Like, you're trying to de-escalate a situation, right? You're trying not to put kids in a situation where it's hard for them to, uh I mean, that's a typical thing with kids. They're excitable when they get in town, they see certain things, they want things, they get wound up. I had 2 boys 11 months apart, believe me, I remember it. Excuse me. And, so I couldn't imagine a baby on top of that as well. But, so, y you know none of that is abnormal, right? You try to not put the kids in that situation. It's the same as when the baby comes here. Well, I have to baby proof. I have to take pictures and put them in a certain spot. I'm not going to leave everything out so that then we can go around and get after him and say that this is an issue, right? He's a baby, right? He'll be 2 in a couple of months, but that's what kids that age do, right? So to avoid that situation and allow him to come here and enjoy his time without thinking that everything he does is not right, you put everything away and babyize the place, to avoid that. So it's the same with the whole grocery thing. Sorry if I'm over explaining, but exactly, you can't keep watch on 3 alone. Yeah, exactly. Uh In my opinion, Janie seems she never liked him. Yeah, oh, definitely. Or her children. Yep, 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 yep. Daphne's that part. Yep. We got to think, why did Malaya want Janie and her family around Meadow? Yep, I've been saying that from the get-go. As soon as the stuff, Janie said she wouldn't let me babysit the baby once when she went to the hospital. um, or Earl would come in and she would go in the room with the baby. She didn't invite Earl to the kids' party. Like, those are all the red flags that, cued me into something's wrong here, right? Something's wrong. Um, yeah, something ain't right. Yeah. Makes you wonder, sure does. Yep. Yep. They created a monster. Yep. Did they ever? Also, they made up this entire story day one. Yep, about Malaya taking them and giving them to someone that they don't know who. Right. And they started on that. I remember Daphne figuring that out, she said, I have to figure this out. When did that start? When did it start that they started? And she went back and went through everything and she found that that started on day one with them. And it sure did. It sure did. Um, yeah, about Malaya taking them and giving them to someone that they don't know who. But sure know that they aren't in a good place. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know, right? It's, oh, and that's why I say, and obviously they're all like that because you have Jim saying certain things about the rugs and the whole rug issue and blah, blah, blah. But yet he's driving by with his daughter in the vehicle, taking pictures of Brad. Like, just strange. Uh, Interesting. Their tongues are telling on them. Exactly, their own tongues tell on them, right? And then Janie has the gall to say, "You guys don't listen. You don't listen. You listen to all the gossip." Well, what gossip? What gossip? Like, uh, who's listening to gossip? We're listening to you guys. You guys were the ones that were talking and talking and talking and talking. Uh, Trying to lead the investigation. Scripted. Yep. 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 Either baby M was a buffer between her and Daniel and something she knew happened prior to Jack and Lily, and she didn't want that to happen to M. Yeah. Yep. Possibility. Yep. In our opinions. Yep. Al. Yes, it is Al. 100% Al. Al can't hide. The only time he was cognito is when we all thought his name was AI. AI Henry. Yep. And then they used Darren to brainstorm more ideas to add on. They did onto the lie. Exactly. 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 Hi, Nani. Thanks for being here. Thanks for becoming a member, or thanks for being a member. Right, Nova. They're the source of the gossip, for heaven's sakes. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Anything that came my way that I didn't have um facts on yet. Uh, and it was a lot, believe me. It was a lot. My mailbox would be full every day. I did not put out there. And then Sunny ended up confirming it all on her channel. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. And Justin did a lot too, and Daphne. Um, but and that's right down to the information I just put out about the rug stuff. And because I didn't want, I wanted it to be about Lily and Jack and not turning it into some focusing on what could be pure gossip and untrue, right? But guess what? It was all true. Every bit of it was true. Every bit of it was true. Yeah, it's crazy. Janie and Daniel are the only ones talking. So they are the ones twisting the words like the hearing Malaya, shh, the kids, right? To woman, yeah, shh, kids. Then no, shh, I know. I have fun with that, shh. Then Daniel said, Lily, I know, right? Oh, I know. So, and everything is preemptive, right? So then the last thing we heard is Daniel told Lily to, right? When Lily never said anything, remember, right? Lily never said anything. Daniel told her to. And then I did my video on how can you tell her to shh if she didn't say anything? Like, oh, I'm telling you. So, it's not funny, two missing kids, not funny, not funny, right? But the ridiculousness of those two, like, you just can't help it. You can't help it, and you have to break it up with a little bit of laughter. Um, yeah, it's foolish. Yeah. Three-story Daniel is what I call him. Three-story Daniel. And yeah, so preemptive, right? So the shh Daniel says he had said to Lily. So then my brain starts going, okay, so now is he saying that because he's so preemptive in things that he states? When he states certain things, you got to stop and go, why is he saying that? Because there's a reason, right? Like I flicked the light on at 12. Lily had a black eye. Um, that happened on Wednesday, although Malaya says, I don't know anything about a black eye. Um, like, why is he saying that? Right? Um, and then you're thinking, okay, is he trying to cover Janie's lie? So now he's saying that he went shh, so that if Janie wants to, she can go, oh, well, I guess that must have been when Daniel was saying to Lily. And I thought that was somebody outside. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where my brain starts to go. Yeah. The biggest lies are where are Lily and Jack? Yep. Plus the string parts and the morning Daniel search. Yes. Yes. And don't forget that, folks. A pretend search, that he really wasn't searching because he knew that Malaya did something with the kids anyway. So, you know, oh, disgusting. There's 4 different stories within one story. The truth is somewheres in the stories. Yep. Truth with lies. Or lies with truth, however you want to say it. Yep. They've made it all about them. I'm getting fired up. I know. That's why I wanted to touch on this stuff again. I'm trying to fire people back up. I did that video of Lilly&Jack too, and I know it sparked some feelings, but that was the purpose of it. That's why I said, like, it's got to be discussed. I listened to that and I was like, I just can't take this. Ugh. It just gets me fired up. I'm telling you. It's like, mm, such BS. And I just feel like, just go shut up. Just go shut up. I said the same thing with Daniel. Just go shut up. If you don't have anything of value to add, which would be truth and facts and none of your delusional crap, then just shut up, right? And if it's something that you can't help because you're struggling so bad with this situation, therapy, it's free. The numbers are free. I put them in my video about denial, Janie, and the numbers are there with it. You go, girl, get fired up. Yeah. Hi, Dad. I know. I know. And that was after I did my video. That was after I did my video. I went back and pulled it out where he stated to the news, because you can always go back and read what he stated in the news. Because he told Mike Dammann that she said something like, hi, Dad, or hey, Dad, or whatever. And then the whole shh thing. And anyways, and I pulled his words out of the news and put it all together. And in that video, you can see again another one of the lies, right? It's just BS. So frustrating. I will see what kind of spin on the story we get from Darren tonight. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. And yeah. I think I'm going to let them have it soon. Oh my. I got her fired up. Well, if you want me on with you, we can give it to them together. Or you can come on here and we'll give it to them together on here. I don't even want to waste brain cells on Darren. I know. I know. I know. I always have this hope, though, that you're going to listen to him and he's going to go, oh my God, folks, I've seen the light. I get it. I get it. Yeah. I feel like they live hard and are only out for number one. And yes, it is scary. Yeah. Yeah, they live hard for sure. Definitely. Yeah. I know. That was funny, wasn't it, Daphne? Bummed I missed you and Shannon together the other night was on the rewatch crew. Yeah, I watched it too. It was a good live. Yeah. I can't remember whose channel I ended up watching it on, but I made sure to go to the other channel and give a thumbs up. Uh, yeah. This case has made me crazier than any other, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I bet. I bet. I've never been so mad at these people. I know I feel the same way, Daphne. I feel the same way. I texted I sent text to Shan one day and I said, like, I said, I don't like saying this, but I literally feel hate for these people. Like, I'm so sick of them. And this, s- like, oh, God, like, just sick of it. And, you know, when the kids first went missing, and I came to realize something's wrong here, I I started crying. I would cry and I would say, like, this can't happen again because every case around here just fades off. I wrote this to Sunny this morning too. It just fades off to be forgotten. And I was like, no, no, this can't happen this time. It can't. It can't. Not with two precious little babies. Nobody's going to talk. Nobody's going to bring light to this. And, uh, if they're not found in the woods, it's just gonna fade off into the sunset, never to be spoken of again. And I was like, no, no, like it can't happen again. I was so upset. And I was so glad when I seen, because I had no idea who you guys were, you and Justin and Sonny, uh, Dolly. I knew who Grizzly was. Um, And when I seen you guys, you know, talking about it too, I was like, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." And because you're bigger creators, and I was just like, "Oh, thank you, thank you." Um, yeah, I was, it's a different world today, and with Shan and I doing these videos and I type podcasts, I guess, if you want to call it that, in Nova Scotia now. Um, Between the two of us and together, we'll make sure that stuff doesn't, fade off anymore. We'll make sure of that. Uh, and that was my whole goal. Part of one of my reasons why I started my channel. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's almost going on 3 years now. Maybe it's 2.5, you know? And for women and the domestic violence and, the issues here in Nova Scotia that we deal with. Oh, there's Shan. Hi, Shan. Just give me a second, guys. I'm coming back over to the chat. Oh, Nova, were you going to show us a coat or something you bought? Yes, yes, yes. You were saying on the last live. Yes, yes. From Frenchies that I bought 25 years ago. Same Nova. I feel hate as well. Like they need to give it up. Yeah, and tell the truth. Yeah. Hi, Shan. Um, I'll run down and get the coat because I forgot to bring it up. Well, I won't literally run, but yeah, the games, the gaslighting. I know. I know. You guys keep chatting there amongst yourselves. It'll just take me like a minute. I will run. That's funny, Daphne. The baby loves it. Anytime I laugh, then he'll go, "Ah!" So cute. There. All right. Here, we'll play the rest of this. There's only a little bit left.
Could not handle all 3 kids. The kids wouldn't listen to her. When they went into a store, they
Imagine,
would
because
just
no kid ever
be
did that
fussy
before.
kids. So that's why Daniel had to go with her if they took the kids, if she took all 3 kids. But most of the time, she just went with Meadow.
Okay.
Yeah, the other option too is that Daniel was like, "Oh no, you're not going into town by yourself." Or he made it so difficult that she would then say, "Well, can you at least come with me?"
I'll be back with more later, people.
Yeah. All right. This is, I'm going to get back a little bit more. This coat, and I swear it'll stay in style forever. It's wool. Made in India. Yeah. Wool. Excuse me. Newport News, which I've never heard of, but oh my God, it is the cutest little coat. Oh, look, I had my angel on it for Christmas time. uh, and I just love it. And like I I could be somewhere and I've had people, women, walk up to me and go, "Where did you get that coat?" And I said, and it's like a short coat, right? Like it comes down to your hip. And I bought that 20, oh God, my shoulder. I just put my arm above my head. I'm not supposed to. Ow. Such a suck, aren't I? I know the red, right? And I get such compliments on it all the time still. And I usually take it out at Christmas time. And so 25 years ago, I bought that at Frenchie's secondhand. And so I don't know how old it was then, but it's still, and I just throw it in the wash here, even though it's wool. I've just always thrown it in my wash and then hang it to dry. And I love it. Uh, yeah, Squid was saying he got, oh, what are those boots called? Uh, Flintstones. And you get a lifetime warranty on those. My son, my brother's, my my husband's brother gave him a pair that he didn't want anymore. And or no, they didn't fit him. So he gave them to my husband. They didn't fit my husband. So my husband gave them to my son. And something happened with the heel or whatever. And you have a lifetime warranty or whatever on those. Like, I don't know if it's called a warranty, but they're guaranteed to, they will repair them or whatever. Yeah, Blundstones, yeah. He paid $5 for them, squid. Yeah. Oh, you've never heard of those? Wow. Yeah. Yeah, they're pricey, but if you can find them at Frenchie's or a secondhand store like Squid, for $5, yeah. Um, what? Somebody found gold. Oh, beautiful jacket. Yeah, my DIL got a new, thrifted Patagonia jacket. You'd think she found gold, yeah. I don't know what kind that is, but yeah. And that's the thing, like that name on there too, I bet you is a good name. Um, yeah, 250 on sale, yeah. Yeah, they're not cheap, but they're made very well and they're supposed to last forever, and if they don't, you get free repairs or whatever. Uh, yeah. And I said to my son, well, like, wouldn't you still need the receipt? Because where they were my brother-in-laws to my husband to my son. And he said, well, no, who would ever keep a receipt for all those years? Like, if they're guaranteed, right? They have to repair them, and they did. So we don't have Frenchies, but we have Goodwill and other thrift stores. Yeah. My Columbia boots paid 325, used 2 years ago. Now they have holes in the side. Well, that wouldn't happen with Bluntstones in it. Like I said, if they did, they're guaranteed, right? Yeah. Um, okay, guys, the last thing I want to do, I want to talk to you guys about story time with Novah. Story time, true crime story time with Novah. Um, because shoot, where did I have my pillow behind my back and I lost it when I get up and I can't sit like that. Um, yeah, pull up this picture. I want to get over to the side. There we go. Doo-doo-doo. Members live story time with Novah. Once upon a crime. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. So, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yep. I'm glad you reminded me because of my memory. And most of you guys that have been with me for a while know that I have a really bad short-term memory, big time. I had to laugh when I was talking about Jack Fox on one of my lives there. Um, the he's a not a state or yeah, it is statement analysis. He was on Grizzly True Crime and he uh did a statement analysis of Daniel, and her and him together were great, great video. So I had talked about it on one of my lives, and I called him Jack Frost. Oh my god, I laughed instead of saying Jack Fox, and it was when I had the flu too, and I just wasn't over it yet, or I didn't realize how sick I was yet or something or other, but anyways, so my head was even foggier and, oh god, funny, Jack Frost, and that's an old movie I used to watch with the kids years ago. Uh, so what this is about. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the um the Medium Digest or Medium Digest. Is it Medium Digest? Um I'm a part of it, and I will show you what I'm going to bring it up on stage and I'll show it to you. It has it has all different types of stories in it, different authors, but there's a lot of crime stories in it. Some of them unsolved, some of them not, some of them solved, some unsolved. Um, and some of it, like the one I'm going to read today, just to kind of start us off, um, is an interrogator and his experience and when to tell people of how to tell when people are not being truthful, things to look out for. And then I'll show you this, like all the different types of stories. So we're going to start doing some of these. It's behind a paywall. So I pay for the subscription so you guys won't have to. And then I get to share it with you guys. Um, and you guys will get to what view it for free. And I'm going to read it to you. So it'll be story time with me and it'll be Once Upon a Crime. um, some of them I look at and I go, oh God, I don't think we'll touch on that one. Um, uh, where did that go? Okay. If you guys can't see that, like when I look at my screen, it looks blurry, but I think it's because I have my laptop connected to my my bigger screen, and so it makes it a little blurry. But I just hope that it's not as blurry when you guys are looking at it. Mm, Medium Daily Digest, that's it. I'm just going to close out some of these windows. I'm getting confused as to what window I'm on. Whoops. Why can't I? Oh, there it is. So I'm just going to read some of what some of these stories are about, and then I'll go to the one that I picked out for today. I already have it open. But just to give you an idea of what is in this magazine, really, really interesting magazine. But like I said, you guys don't have to pay for the subscription. We'll do this, and I'll even go through a list of stories and then let I'll pick somebody and say, okay, you can pick the story today, and we'll go through and let that individual pick the story, and then we'll go through the story. So mystery at and if you guys have heard of any of these, put it in the chat. But like if you go, oh yeah, I remember that, or I've heard about that, put it in the chat. Mystery at Hogsback Lake. That's a creepy name for a lake. The unexplained disappearance and death of Madison Scott. And it even tells you how long the read is. So 7 minutes. So if we were running out of time or whatever, we would pick a shorter story. Is the Nancy Guthrie situation starting to give Jean Bonnet vibes? So that's a newer one. 3-minute read. Getting lost in the details. Uh, Mother-to-be Elijah Bromfield murdered and defiled by boss Brian Cooper. They never searched for Lars Mittink. I don't know what that one's about. Somebody that disappeared that they didn't search for by the sounds of it. The girl who saw everything. She stopped a killer. A shameful secret. The brutal massacre of the Black Donnellys from February 1818. Wow. Oh, excuse me. Ultimate Chud husband, father alert. And he's in an interrogation room there. More than just a footprint. The boy who found James Bulger, and the cost of we don't know the rest of that one. The murder of Rachel Birkenheimer, or Birkenheimer, by John Diggy Anderson. The King of Porn, but with a P, and 4 unsolved murders. Identified after 45 years, the Oregon victim linked to America's most elusive, and that might have to do with what's his name, Golden Gate fella, or is it Golden Gate? Yeah. Woman trips on a rug and kills her husband. That's crazy. Well, turns out if you assault a 12-year-old boy at a sleepover, you do some time. Mm-hmm. The still unexplained death of Tamla Horsford. Yeah, so that's just some of them to give you an idea. I've received, I think, 3 or 4 digests so far. And so there's stories in the other ones as well. But that's just to give you an example, right, of what we'll be touching on in the articles. You guys are having a good old conversation. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will. Uh-huh. Um, I've never heard of any of those stories, and I'm assuming that's the reason why they're in there, because they're probably the ones that are forgotten about, right? So this is where, when Shan and I did the live about Kevin Martin, who is from where I live, like, um, and he was the 13-year-old boy who disappeared, and then years later they found his body out by not too far from where Lily and Jack live, on a logging road. If anybody remembers that live, that did I say Shar? I meant Shan. That Shan and I did. Um, well, this is where his story was, and that person that did his story went through everything and found every bit of information they could find and then put that all together and did the whole story together. Very well done. And that's why I use that in the live for us to go through, because that writer did such a good job of telling Kevin's story by compiling everything that individual could find. So that came from this digest, and that is the only s- excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys. That was the only uh information I could find done as well as that to share with you guys, because everything else regarding him, like I said, it's like cases around here just fade off and are forgotten about. And so I'm assuming most of these stories are uh, stories like that that a lot of people haven't heard of. Um, because I haven't heard of any of these. There might be a couple when I start reading it that I go, oh, okay, I do know that one. So I'm going to bring up the one that we're going to take a look at today, an interrogator. 'Cause I thought this is interesting, and I haven't read it yet. And that's the thing. I'm not going to read the story before I go over it with you guys. I want all of us to do it together. So I'm going to pull it up now, the interrogator, and then we'll be done for the day. But I thought this was interesting, just with the case with Daniel, and oh, I'll read the title before. I'm an interrogator, and these harmless conversation habits are actually red flags. Sometimes you just need to head for the exit fast. Um, that's what I would feel like that if I was sitting with Daniel or Janie. I'd be like, all right, heading for the exit. Guys, I'm just going to put this on pause for a minute. I have to blow my nose, have another drink of water, and get my voice ready, and I'll be right back. Actually, I'll put a song on and we can just take a little pause, okay, while I blow my nose and stuff, and then I'll read this. It's only a 3-minute read, and then after that, we're all done. I heard this yesterday, and I thought I like any kind of music. Um, so as long as the music is done well, I like it. So it doesn't matter if it's country, rock, pop, orchestra, whatever. If it's done well and it's good, I like it. And I heard this yesterday and I really like it. Yeah, I like that too. When I'm playing it, my one foot that I can go, the one that's not sore and, uh, easier to move. Um, yeah, and it's funny you'd call it mountain music because it reminds me of the type of music you would hear, uh, in the Cape Bretons part of Nova Scotia. Not that people would play that around here too, but, uh, more commonly Cape Breton. And my son and his girlfriend, they both play all instruments, and she's from Newfoundland, and you would hear that over there as well. But and moonshiner music, yes, yes. And Mark and what'd you say? What's his name? Mark and oh, Digger, yeah, yeah, I know who you mean because my husband he used to watch that. I don't know if it's still on, but I'd watch it with him. We'd laugh. Um, yeah, and then the girl there started making was it s- was she doing the apple moonshine and then she started doing a berry moonshine too? I said to my husband, I bet you that tastes good. I'm not one for liquor. I never liked the flavor of it, but yeah. But, yeah, I like that song. I I heard it, and like I said, I like any kind of music, and when you're from Nova Scotia, anything that has, like, the fiddle and, uh, that type of music, yeah, you can't help but get in a hoedown mode. Hoedown mode. Apple pie is so good, I bet. Doesn't even have a well, that's why I was saying that when I seen her doing that making those I was thinking probably doesn't even have that liquor flavor. Um, I I actually knew a person years ago that made moonshine, and he gave some to myself and a couple of girls that I worked with. When we worked at Tim Hortons, he was a customer. You never knew what you were going to get from customers anyways. He brought some of it in and just gave us this little jar of it. Anyways, we all not at work, but we got together for tea one night, and it wasn't enough to get you drunk or anything, but just to like well, it probably did get us drunk because I know it's strong, but I only had a little tiny bit because I'm just not much of an alcohol person, never was, but, I don't remember it really having a strong flavor to it. Like, I remember thinking, "Oh my god, is that" Yeah, yeah, it was a little mason jar. Yep. And I was like, I don't even think that's liquor, right?" And I didn't have any more of it, and then the other 2 drank it, and they were friggin' silly as could be. I was worried about my friend walking home, and she was only, like, I think 3 streets over. Tea and shine. Yep, yep. Yeah. That was my one experience with, moonshine, and I was kinda surprised. I was like, "Oh, geez, people around here make moonshine." Well, they did back then, but probably not anymore. They're probably making the other stuff. Said to my husband, "Remember the days when it used to be chill and Pictou County was chill. It was chill, guys. People most people were into marijuana, like, honest to God. Like, probably 70% of the population in Pictou County, and people were just chill, friendly and chill and, you know, and then there was some Coca-Cola that would go on, right? But that was not a large part of the population. And now, oh man, woo, now it's the mathematics, the good old days. Yep. Mountain water, I think, is what the guy from Georgia called it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got a few mason jars of apple pie, really, made with PEI shine in my liquor cabinet, come to think of it. Uh-oh, we started something. We might not see squid for a few days. Oh my god. Yeah, exactly, little bear. And I'm not a drinker, I never was. So I was just like, I just took like a couple of sips and I was like, oh, it just tastes like water. And then I just drank my tea. And the others who they drank it. Uh, the old fella in Tignish, uh, that made shine since Prohibition days. Wow, knew what he was doing. I bet. I bet you that was the good stuff. Maybe that's where the stuff I had came from. I don't know. Yeah, I wish I could get my hands on a jar again. Hitting the road for the island tomorrow, guys, then driving to Montreal on Sunday. Oh, wow, you're driving to Montreal. So don't be alarmed if I do drive. It's not due to the moonshine. Yeah, sure, Squid. Sure. All right, let's read this story. I'm going to be over at the other screen because it's too blurry for me to see on this screen. Um, and I don't see, well, can I see if you guys can see it? The look on his face. Oh, yeah, good. You guys can see that. Okay. So I'll be over at the other screen. Okay, so I'm only out here 'cause I'm in the middle of a bad divorce, and that's a quote. I'd been a cop a long time, but I didn't know this guy, and he didn't know me yet. That was his greeting to me and my shift mate. Makes me wonder if this story's from the UK, and that's the other thing, they can be from anywhere, 'cause or not from the UK, from Aussie, where he says shift mate as we walked up to him. Not a hi or a damn. It's cold out here. He didn't stop there. Maybe not from Aussie if he's saying it's cold out here. Before either I or my shift mate had uttered a word, this guy went on to talk for 4 or 5 solid minutes. In those minutes, I learned about his divorce, his fight with a spouse over finances. Haven't we all run into those people? And you're just going, yeah. Where they are in the court process and how it's all affected his job. He'd only he he'd only glance toward us when he spoke, pre- preferring to look toward the ground. He would only glance toward us when he spoke, preferring to look toward the ground instead. Hmm. Now I have friends, damn good friends, who I've known for 20 years who wouldn't share information like that with anyone, at least not in the first few minutes of meeting them. Nope, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't share that information with anyone aside from a therapist. We needed to abort. When he finally paused to take a breath, we looked at each other and suddenly remembered we had a thing in quotations. Wink, wink. We needed to take care of. We hightailed it to our car and got out of there. This guy wasn't a bad person. He wanted us to know his current uh, post as a patrol officer. So they were speaking to another officer. As a patrol officer, assigned to sit in front of a convenience store wasn't his usual. Prior to his relationship drama, he'd been assigned to a sought after specialized unit. He was a guy in the middle of a terrible situation, and he wasn't coping well. Emotionally, he was a train wreck. Because he looked like harmless conversation habits, most people, yet because they looked like harmless conversation habits, most people would have just walked away thinking he was a bit much. My career as a detective and background in psychology told me a different story. And I'm like that too when I bump into people like that. I know that there's something else going on, right? um, so I'm never rude, and that's probably and that would be the nurse in me too, and I worked in mental health. So, um, here are the habits that send me searching for the exit. Not asking any questions. In a 30-minute conversation, the other person never asks about you, your logic, or your perspective. Healthy conversations are a give and take. Yes, one person can lead, but it should always be a back and forth exchange where you can and request information. And and what do we know about a person who doesn't do the give and take conversations? They're narcissistic. Curiosity, well, I shouldn't say that 100% hands down, we know that, but typically uh, that's what a trait of a narcissist is, right? There's no give and take. Curiosity is a sign of an open, logical mind. A total lack of questions suggests the person has already scripted the outcome and is merely waiting for their turn to push a narrative. Hmm, Let me read that again. Curiosity is a sign of an open, logical mind. A total lack of questions suggests the person has already scripted the outcome and is merely waiting for their turn to push a narrative. If they aren't asking, they aren't listening. They are managing you. Mm-hmm. 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 Speaking before you're finished. Constant interruptions, finishing your sentences before you're done. I notice Daniel does that. Um, I've noticed it in other cases I followed, interrogations and stuff that watched. I've watched a lot of interrogations. But I noticed Daniel does that. I don't know if anybody else has ever picked up on it, but he does that. Um, Finishing your sentences before you're done talking, or starting a new thought before you've even finished yours. It demonstrates low levels of emotional intelligence. The single most important part of effective communication is letting the other party finish their thought before responding. This is classic hearing without listening. They are simply interested in delivering information, not receiving it. The person lacks either self control or self awareness, perhaps both. Mhm. Oversharing, providing an overwhelming amount of irrelevant detail or dumping information that you didn't ask for. Our friend from the opening is the gold standard for this. For heaven's sakes, keep something back to share later, or maybe not at all. Now, he's using the other officer as an example in a roundabout way. Um, to get at his experience as an interrogation officer, right? This happens for a host of reasons: lack of self awareness, need for approval, or status, burying the truth under a mountain of information. Yep. Uh huh. Uh huh. Yep. But none of them are good, right? When the volume of information goes up, the value of appropriateness of that information usually goes down. Isn't that interesting? When the volume of information goes up, okay, the value and appropriateness of that information usually goes down. And it's so true, right? Um, Very true. It's funny, as I'm reading this, when listening to Justin and Daphne, I swear I remember them saying some of these things. Daphne's probably in the chat right now going, "That's what I said. That's what I always." Hypersensitivity to tone, ignoring the factual content of your question to focus entirely on how you asked it. Think something like, "Why are you being so aggressive?" The silent treatment is rooted in this as well. This is a common go-to for many people when they can't defend on facts. Yep. So, and I guess we could use, you know, in speaking with Lilly&Jack Sullivan, uh, as AB says, Daniel Chatty Cathy, um, he is no more. With, when you're charged with something, um, he cannot defend himself right now, right? Um, he was all talk, even about those charges when was it CBC that did the interview with him? There was a couple of interviews he did where he discussed those charges. But now, or no, sorry, my apologies. My apologies. Not the charges. He was, there's two separate issues. So we have Malaya, who we know from the unredacted documents, which we can talk about. They're unredacted court documents, where she um, has stated about, abuse, um, being held down, the phone taken from her, pushed up against a wall. And there's some other stuff that we've learned along the way as well. So we know about that, right? And that he was questioned by media on that. He had no problem talking about it, right? There was no charges. Now the other issue at hand. So after that, he ended up being charged with um, who the victim is. We will not say. We will not say. Okay. Um, and by the way, I will always refer to baby as baby M, and I've never ever shared photos of baby M. Um, and I mean, working in the field that I work in, I just always knew that that was not an appropriate thing to do. And now there is an amended act out that actually prevents anyone from doing that, which I never did. Anyways, I knew that wasn't, she can't consent to that. And she does, even though it was her father who was sharing all those photos and sending them to somebody to share or to whoever to share. Uh, you have to put in perspective who that individual is that's giving you those photos to share, even though it's the father, the situation surrounding everything, not appropriate. So I never ever did that. Anyways, back to this. um, I don't even know where I was going with that. Sorry, that's my memory. But yeah, so we have the other situation. So now he's charged with um assault of somebody, assault and confinement, right? Of an individual. So, now when he's being asked about those type of uh um someone accusing him of that. Now he doesn't want to talk about it, right? So makes sense what they're saying here. So this is almost always an attempt to paint you as an antagonist and them as the victim. Wait a minute. I missed something there. Must have accidentally scrolled down. Ignoring the factual content of your question to focus entirely on how you asked it. Oh my God. Who's that sound like? Wow. Think something like, why are you being so aggressive? The silent treatment. It is rooted in this as well. This is a common go-to for many people when they can't defend the facts. Yeah, so he's charged with something now. He's not gonna talk to media. This is almost always an attempt to paint you as the antagonist and them as the victim, right? They are moving the argument from the truth of their behavior to the fairness of your delivery. Yep. Oh my gosh, guys, like, is this not describing to a T? I didn't read this yet. It's describing to a T. Uh, it is a diversionary tactic used when they have no logical defense in their actions. Yep. Passive validation, using phrases like, I'm sorry you feel that way, or I'm sorry you misinterpreted me. Spoiler alert, they're not sorry. Nope. Sometimes I'll say that to but I'm being sarcastic. I'm using it intentionally. And I wouldn't do that with, you know, your average everyday person in my life and nice people that surround me. It would be an asshole I would be doing that with. Yeah. Spoiler alert, they're not sorry. They are using a passive aggressive method to say that what you think or feel is wrong. Even if that's the case, using these phrases is not the way to address it. No. This demonstrates a total lack of self awareness. They are attempting to validate your emotion, albeit poorly, to avoid validating the facts. It's a signal that they prioritize being right over being effective or fair. Yeah, exactly. Final thoughts. The officer I encountered on that shift wasn't likely a bad person. No. Yet his harmless oversharing was a signal that he was a liability in that moment. Exactly. And I've run, like I said, haven't we all run into that person? And for me, when I'm running into that person and it was at work, right? And you're a nurse and it's somebody you're working with, right? And and that could be another nurse, a doctor, whatever. And you're thinking, what the hell are you doing here at work, right? You should be off. Um, yeah, that he was in a liability in that moment, regardless of his past record or specialized training. These individual flags are often indicative of larger problems. Yeah. In my career as a detective, I've seen that while words are often scripted, habits are much harder to hide. Uh-huh. When you spot these five signals, stop treating them as a social annoyance, or just your gut. Treat them as the data points. Then use that data to tell what to do next, to tell you what to do next. Maybe you know this person needs help and they would be receptive to it. Well, we know Janie wouldn't be. Just as importantly, I mean, maybe she would be, but, I don't know why, what her denial's about or what she knows. Just as importantly, they may tell you exactly when it's time to head for the exit. Not the person, but the signs. Yeah. So isn't that interesting? Interesting. Yeah, I know, right? You would think it was written, yeah. Because these are professionals, right, that see the same thing over and over and over and over, right? It's just it never changes. This is how they're so good at their jobs. And no, right? There's something going on here. But then, of course, they would have to figure out is there a mental component here, right? Or is there something, is it something else going on nefarious, right? And that's why I said with Janie, that's why I said, like, I don't know if her denial is intentional denial, right? So you're just outright lying, or it's her mind's way, the denial that any one of us can have, and it's our mind's way of protecting us, right? That's why I say I don't know. I'm not in her head, but there's definitely a denial. Is it intentional or not? Who knows? Bye, Dap. Thanks, Noni. Great live. Thank you. Because yeah, exactly. Because there's 2 sets of keys, right? Exactly. Malay that's it look, it can't I'll never I have a bad memory, and Justin has said that so much over and over and over and over. It's, like, ingrained in my head. So there's 2 sets of keys, right? And the, white Pathfinder 2017 white Pathfinder is Malaya's, right? I just will never forget it. And the, what's the other thing he did over and over and over? Pink blank. Justin could be a comedian. He is a comedian. I mean, he can make money at it. A pink blanket. Oh my god. Crazy. It's like this was written for yeah, I know. Like they believe the lies they've told. Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, that is it. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Sending you all positive vibes. Again, little bear, thank you. Thank you so much. So appreciate it. And I'll come back on screen there so you guys can see me as we say goodbyes. Um, yeah, yeah, I get a kick out of Justin. He's one of my favorite creators. Yeah, so thanks for being here, everyone. Uh, and I'll probably put this out as for everyone else to see as well. I just wanted to make sure when I did those Janie clips that that nothing went awry as far as anybody's name being stated or whatever. And it wasn't. So the amount of quotes that play, yeah, I know, right? That play over in your head, it's wild. Yeah. All right, guys. Who heard you? Uh, be a man. And was he saying who heard you, or was he saying who hurt you? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Um, yeah. Okay, guys, thanks so much. I'm gonna play the yeah, the posters again, the unsolved crimes and missing posters there again at the end, with some music and and I yeah, yeah, I think he was saying who hurt you, but it sounded like who heard you. Um, yeah, you guys are funny. Yeah, exactly, 'cause I would've heard, yeah, and there's no sense in even putting the, you know, where the words come up to try to help you because it's just gonna say the same thing. It's gonna say heard. Yeah. Um, yeah, so I hope you guys like will when we do the members live, we'll always do the story time, and I'll just pick somebody out of yeah, 1000% ironclad. You got it. Nothing else but. He don't forget to tune in. Oh, he's on right now. It's 1 minute after 9. I think he's on right now. You're missing him. You're missing him. Captions, yeah, the captions don't help. They are. They are. They're worse than when you listen to it with the ears. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'll pick somebody and you guys can choose. I'll go through the stories and you can say, "Let's go to that one," and we'll do that as the story in our members' lives. Yeah, much love to you guys. Lots of positive vibes. Take care, guys. Bye.